When we go to take the team photo though, like you guys all have to be in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we'll just have, Jimmy's bringing a camera.
Yeah.
And make sure to count 100%. Don't blink.
Where do we look, Jimmy?
Not that button.
Yeah. Before we get started, hey,
Whoa.
There you go.
It's okay then.
Yeah. Hurry up and do it.
Obviously, when I opened this club, I had a few things that I wanted to prove. And chiefly among those is the idea that you can get a black belt in a lot less than 10 years, and that's without necessarily having to be like a full-time jiu-jitsu athlete who takes steroids and trains twice a day and all that. I just wanted to prove that, for lack of a better term, the average person who just attends class on a regular basis but commits to training intelligently could get a black belt in 5 or 6 years, and I think there's no better example of that than Rory. So thank you for proving me right. Rory's always been really focused on training intelligently and just on improving. One of the things that you'll notice if you have a chance to train with him is that he doesn't come in here and roll to win. He just tries to figure out how to make things work better. And in that sense, he's become kind of like a perfect training partner for a lot of us, but for me in particular. So that's definitely something that reflects, I think, both on Rory as an individual and on us as a club and what kind of atmosphere we try to foster. He's really passionate about helping others improve, which I think is another thing that's really huge about our club and about what we try to foster in the jiu-jitsu community. And like the amount of times that I've seen Rory in here working with brand new white belts all the way up to experienced brown and black belts that come and visit us, and every single one of those people has left here a better Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, martial artist, whatever you want to call them. They've left here better as a result of working with Rory, so I'm extremely proud of that. So Rory's like the embodiment of using intelligence and efficiency to get to a level that, again, in the past would only be associated with full-time professional martial artists, professional jiu-jitsu practitioners. I really hope that people here look up to the fact that despite not being, again, a full-time athlete, not being particularly, like, look at this fucking lanky weird, like, this is not an athlete we're talking about here. This is somebody who used their brain to get good at jiu-jitsu, and I think any of us can do that, given the amount of time that's been put in, which is not excessive. Rory has drastically increased his commitment to jiu-jitsu recently, which has put him over the top. Anytime he's wanted to know where he needs to get to improve, he's asked me, and he's worked within the parameters that I've given him. So in that sense, he's also like an amazing student, and you guys can take that from anybody who's not sure what they need to work on in here to get better. Just do what Rory does. Ask me, I'll tell you exactly what it is, and if you just put in the work, you're gonna get way better. So yeah, that's stuff I wanted to say about Rory, and he is the first person to go from white belt to black belt at Island Top Team. So in that sense, he's almost like my first black belt. So that's why I'm trying not to fucking cry now. So yeah, thank you, Rory, for becoming my best training partner and for allowing me to improve in a way that I didn't think was possible from having a jiu-jitsu club in a little town like Nanaimo. So that is largely due to you, and I really appreciate that and everything you brought to the club. So.
I had a hunch that happened, and then especially when I came in and I saw Umesh and Marcus and Guillaume and Jen, it's like, okay, all the affiliates are here. It means a lot to have absolutely everybody here. I can't thank all of you enough. It's amazing that my mom, dad, and wife knew that this was going on and they're here. My mom and my dad I'd love to thank for teaching me work ethic and helping me and providing me with every opportunity that I could have ever asked for in this life that has allowed me to be successful. My wife, Katie, for constantly supporting me and understanding that dinner time and lunchtime at regular hours is just not a thing with jiu-jitsu, and for constantly supporting me with that. All you guys, from obviously having like Cal and Rob and Matt as higher level training partners that have helped push me to those next levels. Jimmy, where the hell is Jimmy? Fuck, man. Jimmy is who I trained with before I tried to train with Rob when I was in between schools. When I trained in personal first, it shut down. Jimmy helped keep that spark alive and kept me training for a year or 2 years before we started. Yeah, 2 years before training with Rob. Without Jimmy, I might not even have continued doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just because I didn't have much of an avenue from that. And then obviously John Punt had Impact MMA and gave another mat space that I was able to go to, so thank you, John. Kevin for being there to help me with the YouTube stuff and being able to allow me, always giving me his time to allow me to work on these other endeavors. And then everyone else that I've trained with, like you guys have helped me develop in other specific areas, and even the newer white belts who have shown enthusiasm to come watch me teach. That has always motivated me to try and be the best that I can. To even just asking a specific question one day makes me have to think on the spot right there and problem solve, and it's always helped me. It's always driven me to be the best I could be at jiu-jitsu. And then obviously Rob has done absolutely everything to support me, even as we have moved from just the typical student-teacher relationship to actually being partners working on the online academy and me working for him, helping him run the school. He has never shown an authority or treated me like an employee underneath him. He's always treated me as an equal. He has always been open to listening to any ideas or different ways that I want to try to challenge myself or take things, whether it's, especially as we're looking at video production. He's always encouraged me to try and be the best that I could be. Obviously getting promoted under Rob means a lot because he's got high standards, as we know. I think especially during these times where martial arts, other belt ranks can be significantly easier to get than something like Taekwondo or Karate. I'm going to have to explain that to people on Facebook that don't train Jiu-Jitsu and know why this is so significant. Training Jiu-Jitsu under Rob, to me, is the equivalent of getting a degree basically in Harvard compared to, say, a degree at Vancouver Island University. They obviously need some.
Come on, Harvard, come on.
If you tried to say that a degree at one place, then you say it at an Ivy League school, we would know. Rob, if you guys, like, it takes a long time to get ranked under Rob, and trust me, I understand the frustration, and I understand, for me as all people, I've definitely focused too much on belt ranks in the past. It's something for me as a visual representation of a skill level. It's something that my brain has had a hard time differentiating from. We don't get into this sport or martial art for the belt. We get into it because we enjoy it, we love the process of it, and it's important to remember that. And I've certainly lost track of that at times and always found my way back to it, so it's important to remember that. And I mean, the outcome of it is getting ranked under Rob, like even purple belt to brown belt up, you can make a living from this job because you are going to have so much knowledge compared to some people, depending on where they have the opportunity to train and learn from, that you're going to be able to go to places and blow people away with the knowledge you have. And that's absolutely thanks to Rob and everything that he does. Like, he dedicates himself to jiu-jitsu more than any of us can comprehend. And we get to be the beneficiaries of that. There are times where, like as we've seen with this Caltera ankle lock that Rob has now made, that he's been able to pull off for the first time in competition, we get to just learn these techniques from him, and especially at the lower levels, you don't recognize just like how privileged you are to just get the finished version of that product, where Rob has been working on, say, even just that submission for 4 years before being able to actually successfully hit it in competition. He refines it, and I get to always have that privilege of working with him and learn his process of deciphering what works and what doesn't and figuring out the technique. But we just get that streamlined and fed right to you guys. So yeah, there's going to be frustrations throughout your journey. I almost quit once at blue belt, going through like that blue belt blues situation of working jobs full time and getting away from my training, and I can't even imagine what my life would have been. So even if you step away from training briefly at times, or you have setbacks, try and find a way to it, and try and find a way to always be training with this guy, because he will set you up the best for the rest of your life, and I can't thank you enough. So it means so much to have all you guys here. It's very special. Thank you so much.